Good morning. Welcome to Oak Park, Illinois, the birthplace of Betty White. We all want to live to be 99, maybe 100, and so this is a good moment to ask you to please put on your masks. We would like to spread some Betty joy and not germs, so masks on and masks up. My name is Dan Haley. I am the publisher of Growing Community Media and Wednesday Journal newspaper, Betty White's hometown newspaper. Not that she ever heard us because she left a long time ago. We are the hosts of the Be Like Betty celebration, and we are thrilled to see so many of you here this morning. And for those of you who are watching on the live stream, it's pretty cold out here. I am here just to say thanks to a few people in addition to each of you. I can't start this without thanking two of my colleagues, Lords Nichols and... Okay, that proves that everyone does know Lords. So Lords Nichols and Melissa Elsmo, this is their baby, this is their vision and their idea, and we are all just along for the ride, and so thanks to them. We want to thank Byline Bank just across the street. Byline is one of our main sponsors, and a little later, in honor of Betty White and her passion for animals, our Animal Care League will be hosting Animal Care League. The Animal Care League will be hosting a pet adoption event in the lobby of Byline Bank. We are standing in front of the iconic Lake Theater, which is pretty much the heart and soul of downtown Oak Park. And I want to thank Chris Johnson and his colleagues for making this possible and for sharing their fabulous facility. I also need to thank the Oak Park Police Department and Public Works for making this happen this morning. And with that, my friend Lords Nichols.
Oak Park is not quite St. Olaf, but we are proud to be Betty White's real hometown. I'm Lords Nichols. I've worked for Growing Community Media and Wednesday Journal for over 26 years. Over a year ago, I met with my client George Vergados at Mickey's Gyros and Ribs. George, are you here? George wanted to feature a strong woman. Betty White was his obvious choice. It was about to be her 99th birthday, and I thought to myself, when she turns 100, we should throw a party. Last fall, I suggested the idea to Dan Haley. I told him, I'm not going to accept no for an answer. And I'm so glad that I have a boss that supports me and this community. On December 31st, my heart sank as I learned the news that Betty had passed. It became even more important to celebrate Betty White's life and legacy. I want to thank the amazing staff at Wednesday Journal and Growing Community Media. We are a small but mighty bunch. This 24-page section is epic that we just put out this week. It highlights how our Oak Park business community has rallied around this one-of-a-kind lady. Thank you to 99 House Balloons and Alpha Lit for this absolutely spectacular display. Thank you to PrimeParty.com and Shane for the cutouts around downtown Oak Park. I'm proud to introduce Oak Park Village President Vicki Skaman, who will read an in memoriam proclamation.
It's wonderful to see you all out there. Thank you to the Wednesday Journal and to everybody who helped make this happen. It is my honor and privilege, let's put this back in, to read this proclamation in memory of Betty White. Betty's life and legacy has left us far more than rolls of film. Betty brought people together with her relentless positivity, talent, and strength. Her fans truly felt loved by her everywhere. Whereas the Oak Park community joins the close friends and family of Betty White in mourning her death on December 31st, 2021. And whereas the Village of Oak Park will forever remember Betty White, born on January 17th, 1922, in Oak Park, Illinois, as a beloved radio and television performer and producer for over 70 years, and as a lifelong advocate for animal health and welfare. And whereas Betty White was a pioneer in the entertainment industry as one of the first women to co-found a production company, Bandy Productions, in 1952, and the first woman to produce a sitcom, Life with Elizabeth, in 1953, and the first woman to receive the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host for the show Just Men in 1983. And whereas Betty White received many awards for her accomplishments, including for her work on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and The Golden Girls. Betty received 5 Primetime Emmys, 2 Daytime Emmys, a Los Angeles Emmy Award, 3 American Comedy Awards, including a Lifetime Achievement Award, 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards, a Grammy, and Betty White was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And whereas Betty White was a pet enthusiast and animal health and welfare advocate, supporting numerous nonprofits throughout her prolific career with organizations including the Los Angeles Zoo Commission, the Morris Animal Foundation, and Actors and Others for Animals. And whereas, in partnership with the Morris Animal Foundation, Betty White established the Betty White Wildlife Fund in response to the Deepwater Horizon oil disaster in the Gulf of Mexico and its detrimental effects on marine life, which continues to fund research to improve and protect the lives of wild species everywhere and address wildlife disasters. And whereas Betty White would have been 100 years old on Monday, January 17th, 2022, and will be honored with a Betty White Centennial Celebration in the Wednesday Journal newspaper on January 12th, 2022, as well as with a live event at Lake Theater on this day, January 15th. Now therefore be it resolved by myself, Vicki Skaman, as Village President of the Village of Oak Park and Board of Trustees, that the sympathy of officials and citizens of the Village of Oak Park be expressed to all that loved Betty White, her close friends and family, and that this proclamation in her memory be preserved in the official records of the Village of Oak Park. Thank you. It is my honor to represent to introduce Oak Park resident and the president of our Senate, Senate President Don Harmon. Thank you.
I can't see a thing. Good morning, all. I am very pleased to report that we are celebrating Betty White not only in Oak Park, but thanks to the Illinois State Senate, Monday, her 100th birthday will be Betty White Day in the state of Illinois. Now, the first constituents to insist on this were sitting at my dining room table, my teenage daughters, Frances and Maggie. And the fact that 2 young women born in this century had so much affection and admiration for Betty White speaks volumes about who she was. And it's not just her obvious sense of humor and her grace, but I would say it was her bearing. It was what she did for women, what she did for our animal friends. And so on Betty White Day and every day, perhaps we should all have a little more Betty White in our lives. Thank you, Betty. God bless you.
Thank you, Senator Harmon and Vicki. For more than 25 years, Frank Lipo has served as the Executive Director of the Historical Society of Oak Park and River Forest. working with the community to gather and tell stories. This includes all facets of local life, stories about our businesses, institutions, schools, historic architecture, and of course, the people who make our community unique, including hometown legends like Betty White.
Thank you, Lords. All history is ultimately family history. The parents, extended families, close friends, and communities that shape us. And what do we really know about Betty White's family that brought her here 100 years ago to be born in Oak Park? And also about her return visits when she came to visit extended family. Digging through the archives and also with the help of genealogical expert and Historical Society volunteer Kurt Etchingham, here are a few stories. Betty's parents were both born in 1899, just like Oak Park legends Percy Julian and Ernest Hemingway. Unlike Dr. Julian's roots in Alabama and Hemingway's roots right here in Oak Park, all of Betty's grandparents were first-generation immigrants. Betty's father was Horace White, and her mother was Catherine Catchachis, who went by Tess or Tessie. Horace and his sister Emma were born in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to Danish immigrant parents, Christopher and Etta White, later moving to Green Bay. Tess's parents were Greek immigrant Nick Catchachis and Canadian native Margaret Hobbs, who met and married in Chicago. By 1918, when Betty's dad Horace joined the Army to serve in World War I, his family lived at 704 North Central in Chicago, just south of Chicago Avenue. By that point, the Catchachis family lived at 4110 Washington Boulevard, just west of Pulaski and within a short walk of Garfield Park. We don't know details of their courtship, but West Siders Tess Catchachis and Horace White, only 22 years old, were married on February 19th, 1921 in Chicago, and they chose an apartment in Oak Park at 220 Pleasant to be their first home together. 11 months later, Betty came along. After an eventful 2 years of marriage, a new baby girl, the Whites moved to California as her father pursued his career as a salesman of industrial electronic parts. But the Oak Park connection doesn't end there because of Betty's extended family. Betty's dad, Horace, had one sibling, Emma, who married Hugh James. Emma and her husband, Hugh, lived with her parents in Austin at the time Betty and her parents left for California. A few years later, in 1926, Betty's aunt and uncle bought the house at 214 North Taylor in Oak Park, and within a few years, her parents moved in with them. Both her grandparents and her aunt and uncle lived in that home until they all died over a period of years, with her uncle the last to die in 1965. They evidently were a close extended family with these deep roots for 40 years in Oak Park. In a 1989 letter to the Historical Society, Betty White recalled visiting and staying with her aunt, uncle, and grandparents in a house on Taylor Avenue on multiple occasions when she was growing up. She didn't recall the exact address at that point, but had fond memories of those visits back to Oak Park, even incorrectly assuming that she had been born there as a baby, but that was her birthplace, because it was the family home associated with her extended family and from her childhood. In that letter, she graciously thanked my predecessor at the Historical Society who had written to ask about her Oak Park memories. And she said she so appreciated the interest and responded very quickly within a few weeks and enclosed a bio and photo for our files. She closed with a P.S., and I'll let her have the last words in her own words of that letter. P.S. I'm always careful to explain that I was born in Oak Park, not Chicago.
Thank you so much, Frank. I'm Melissa Elsmo. I'm the food editor. I'm the food editor for Wednesday Journal. And I just happened to mention that I have a deep and sincere affinity for Betty White, and now I'm here with all of you. So this is a great opportunity for me, and what a slice of life. I've spent the last several weeks collecting stories about Betty from people who were both affiliated with her directly and indirectly. And what I have come to understand is she is exactly the person that we wanted her to be. I was assured by multiple people that Betty was genuine, hardworking, and humble. Jokes just fell out of her mouth, they said, and she had a gift for making every person feel important. Betty, it is clear, was deserving of our collective adoration, and that love is reflected in the enormous floral display to my left. It was given to us courtesy of Garland Flowers. We asked for a crown, y'all, and then we got this beautiful wreath. So in the world of Betty, bigger is definitely better. And in one of my most recent discoveries, I found somebody else who is going big for Betty. I'd like to welcome Zach Hudson, the organizer of the forthcoming Golden Con, the first ever Golden Girls Convention, which will be held at Navy Pier this April. We've invited, I know it's so exciting. We've invited Zach to say a few words and eulogize the late, great Betty White.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you to the publishers of the Wednesday Journal, and thank you to all you fine folks here in Oak Park, a beautiful community which I have had the pleasure of seeing for the very first time today. Looks like a pretty good place to live and the seed of a lot of greatness. Betty White notwithstanding, also Frank Lloyd Wright, and I learned today Ernest Hemingway. So God bless you, Oak Park. I'm going to be brief, and I'm going to keep that promise. I'm going to take you for 1 second to Miami, Florida, out of this cold weather, to the scene of to open on the home of the Golden Girls. Dorothy is dressed in black. She looks at her roommate and best friend Rose, and she says, "I'm so nervous. Have you ever given a eulogy, Rose?" And Rose says, "You mean at a funeral?" And then Dorothy says, "No, I mean at a pie eating contest." Betty White had a way to make people laugh, and as Melissa said, anybody you talk to who knew Betty White is going to tell you she was as authentic as they come. I talked to 2 days before we learned about Betty White's passing. I talked to a person who worked very closely with her on the Golden Girls. His name was Stan Zimmerman, and he was a producer and writer for the first season of the Golden Girls. And he told me that Betty White reminds him of somebody else who has a big birthday coming up, and that's Dolly Parton. He said that when Betty White turned on, and she was there to entertain everybody in the room, and she really almost couldn't turn it off. I also would like to take a moment, because I did not know Betty White personally, to read a few of her words from her book, If You Asked Me, and of course you won't. And this is Betty White's philosophy about death. It's very short, and as you might expect from Betty White, it's pretty upbeat. Her mother, Tess, who we learned about from our fabulous local historian, was, from most perspectives, the person who gave Betty White that really special, optimistic point of view. Everybody says that her mother, Tess, was a very optimistic person. And Tess had a philosophy about death. And now I'm going to read Betty's words. She says, "Again, I'm quoting my mother, but her take on the subject I thought was great. She said, we know so much and can discover so much more, but what no one knows for sure is what exactly happens when we pass on. When we'd lose somebody, we'd grieve, of course, but she would say, now they know the secret. Somehow that helped the pain for me." And Betty White was writing about when her mother died, and she wrote, "And now she knows the secret. If you've ever lost a loved one or witnessed it, you can't help but see that the body is an envelope for the letter." And now Betty White knows the secret.
All right, now.
I'm going to take you out of our Illinois January back to Miami one more time. Rose's character had a near-death experience, and she wakes up in the hospital, and she tells the girls that she thinks she died and went to heaven. And she's like, well, it wasn't exactly heaven. It was kind of on the outskirts of heaven. And she was at a train station, and she saw a sign that said, Destination Heaven. And Rose's first thought was, that's a great name for a movie. Are you listening, Lake Theater? Rose's second thought was, damn, I'm dead. I'm not going to tell you anything you don't already know. Betty White had an immeasurable amount of talent and ability to make people laugh that's possibly unparalleled in the history of seeing people on film and video. And it makes me so proud just to be here in Oak Park, where she was born, to talk about her for a moment. Thank you so much, Oak Park. Thank you so much to the Wednesday Journal. God bless you.
Thank you so much for those thoughtful words, Zach. Just days before Betty passed away, I had the opportunity to sit down with the one and only Cindy Fee at Cross Function Flexible Workspace in Oak Park to make a podcast. She is the recording artist and very familiar voice behind the iconic theme song to the Golden Girls. Cindy is a notable Oak Park River Forest resident and one of our most favorite hyper-local connections to Betty White. Please help me welcome Cindy Fee, the voice behind Thank You for Being a Friend.
Thank you. How are y'all today? Cold. We're all cold. I'm not sure there ever was an actor as beloved as Betty White. Throughout her 70-plus years of entertaining people worldwide, she managed to be loved by everyone, something that not many performers attain. And she did so with a unique combination of wit, charm, and essential goodness. Her belief that life should be met with a positive attitude and thankfulness for just being alive on this planet. Think about that a second. Just being alive. Coming from Oak Park, she displayed the qualities that you find in so many Oak Parkers: optimism and love for their fellow man, and of course, an extreme love for animals. I know, because I lived here for over 25 years raising my family, because of those very qualities. I would like to say that we are all here today because we realize that to navigate our lives today requires that same attitude. We can live in fear and distrust of others, or we can embrace all life with the same love and compassion Betty served us with so faithfully for so many years. My new motto, and I hope you all consider this, in a world full of so much confusion and distrust, be like Betty. This is for you, my dear one. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you know, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. Okay, one more thing. Y'all want to sing that with me? Do ya? Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invite meet everyone you know. You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. We have a little gift. We have a little gift for Cindy. We have a little gift for you. Thank you so much for being our friend, Cindy Fee. We appreciate you. For those of you looking to hear Cindy Fee sing that song again, she will also be at Golden Con this April. Lords, come on up. Take it away.
We'd like to thank everyone for attending today. We thank you in advance for supporting our local businesses this afternoon. Thank you, Renee Toronto and Toronto Bakery, for providing cake in Betty's honor. Volunteers will be slicing up and serving 100 pieces for you to enjoy. We also have a generous supply of red vines to give away courtesy of the American Licorice Company. Volunteers with boxes are ready to hand them out. Be on the lookout for Betty-themed photo ops along Lake Street, courtesy of primeparty.com. The Animal Care League is holding a pet adoption event in the lobby of Byline Bank across the street. Be like Betty and show some love for the animals.
And we have Betty's energy here because we have a family adopting periwinkle as we speak.
We have a family adopting periwinkle as we speak, I'm told. On behalf of everyone at Growing Community Media and Wednesday Journal, we'd like to thank you for celebrating Betty White today. Thank you.